just wanted to take some time to thank you all so much for coming out today. My name is Kyle McIntyre. I'm a newly sworn-in council member here in Upper Darby. And we're obviously here to honor the life and memory of Renee Nicole Good, but also the many immigrants that have died in ICE custody this year. To start off, I don't have any prepared remarks. As you know, this happened very suddenly, and I think that that's kind of very indicative of the situation that we've been experiencing here in the United States, and also here in Upper Darby. Now, you don't see about us on the news, we don't post much about it, but this year, or in the last 3 months, we've lost over 30 residents have been kidnapped in Upper Darby. And those are just the ones we know. It's almost a daily occurrence here. The community is terrified, and everyone is just doing the best that they can to stay strong and to fight back. And there's so many people in our community that honestly are doing the same thing that Renee did, which was stand up for her community, exercise her First Amendment rights to peaceful protest, and she was murdered for it. And I'm not going to mince words because many elected officials really haven't lately. The real domestic terrorists in this country has been this Trump administration. And have been these ICE agents that have done nothing but terrorize our family, our friends, our community members. And here in Upper Darby, we say enough. We say enough in Delco. We say enough in America. I am going to ask for a moment of silence for Renee Nicole Good. I'm sure we all just recently learned her name. She was a mother. She was a wife. She leaves behind a 6-year-old child. Her husband was a veteran. And she's just doing, honestly, what any one of us that is here today would have done. That is why we're so appalled. Not because we're surprised. I think many of us knew that this would happen. Many people told this administration this would happen. But they don't care. They do not care. So, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. I am going to take some time to explain something that I'm sure you've seen on the news. I'm sure you've seen in Chicago the whistles. Buy them. We have a bunch of whistles. My colleague Kayla Kachi will be handing out. If you don't know how this works, when you see ICE, you're supposed to blow the whistle. When you hear a whistle, you're supposed to stop everything you're doing and go outside and record them. Because the only reason why we know the truth about Renee is because somebody recorded it. Because we have a liar in chief. We have a propaganda machine that is trying to dismantle our democracy. And to my fellow elected officials, it's time. It's time to throw every single thing we have at this administration. If it means shutting down the government, then there's no government. There's no government, because this is no government. This is a terrorist organization attacking our communities, killing our community members, and they will kill every single one of us, and we know that. I'm trying not to get too political because it's supposed to be a vigil, not a rally. But it's hard not to. It's hard not to because at the very beginning, this has been political. And for so many people in this country, their lives are political. Whether you are black, whether you are trans, whether you are an immigrant, whether you have status or whether you don't. And for so much of it, for so much of it, it feels hopeless. Well, I was duly elected to fight. And I will be. And I encourage everyone here to continue to fight. I know for a fact that every single one of us walks outside every single day knowing what we're getting into, knowing the risks, knowing that one day it could be us. But look at how many people came out tonight. We're not alone, and there are people that are going to fight with us. And I will be there every step of the way. I mean, hell, you got to give me bail money? Hell, I'll be here. But we're not going to stand down. We're not going to be silent every single time. I hope to God I run into ICE at one point here in Upper Darby, because I'm going to tell you, we're going to run them out of town. We're going to run them out of town. And no threats from an administration that topples governments at the whim of a dictator or an oil company is going to tell me what my rights are, or when or how I am to protect my community. Yes. Yes. You know, today, or this year, is going to be the 250th anniversary of the founding of this country. The truth of the matter is, I don't feel like we even have 25 more days. 25 more months, really. This country died a long time ago. It is up to us to revive whatever we believe that spirit of this country was. And let me tell you, it wasn't laying down and surrendering. It wasn't giving up. But make no mistake as to who the real criminals are. They're in the White House, they're in DHS, and every single one of them will be held accountable. If we ever get a modicum near power again, every single one of them will go to jail for life. I'm going to leave you with this, and I want you to chant after me. Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! No justice! No justice! No peace! No peace! Say her name! Renee Nicole Good! Say her name! Renee Nicole Good! Thank you. Now I'm going to pass the megaphone off to an actual member of our community here to say a few words.
My name is Muhammad Saman Rahman, and I speak tonight with sorrow, with resolve, and a demand for truth. We are here because of what happened yesterday in Minneapolis on January 7, 2026. A 37-year-old U.S. citizen, Renee Nicole Good, was shot and killed by an ICE agent during a federal immigration enforcement operation. She was a mother of 3, a poet, and someone who had never been charged with any significant misdemeanor beyond a minor traffic matter. She was killed during a federal action that should have provided safety, but instead posed the greatest danger to have ever been inflicted upon anyone. Witness videos and reports show that she was in her car when the encounter escalated, and questions still remain about whether the use of deadly force was justified or not. Local officials, including Mayor Jacob Frey, have criticized parts of the federal account of the shooting. I myself am gravely pissed off at the reporting and the execution of this raid. Let me take a moment to mention the fact that there have been recent videos circulating from the perspective of neighboring physicians in the area who weren't allowed to go in the scene to the car to help Renee because of the false promise that these agents made that EMS providers were in the area. Let me repeat. They were not in the area during that time. It was only up until 10 to 15 minutes after she was shot that they arrived, and they weren't even allowed to go into the area because of the tanks that were in the way. So kind of terrible for them. Anyway, this tragedy is not isolated. Across our region, from Philadelphia to Montgomery County, there have been ICE operations and raids that have led to arrests in immigrant communities, creating fear among people simply for them living their lives. Here in Upper Darby, we value public safety. Our police department works with professionalism to protect all of us, regardless of background, and our officers have built relationships with every neighborhood to keep schools, parks, and streets safe. Our police are committed to serving our community without fear, and we thank them for that service. However, at the same time, we must acknowledge that federal enforcement actions like the one that happened in Minneapolis and the growing presence of ICE activities in this region have a different aim and authority. They operate under federal mandate, and they must be held to the same standards to justice and accountability as local law enforcement. There can be no double standard, especially when it comes to the matters of a life being lost. We cannot accept a framework where any agency, federal or local, can act without transparency or oversight. We must insist that every use of force, whether it be ICE or any other law enforcement, can be fully and independently investigated. That public officials at every level to be able to commit to accountability, clarity, and community safety. And lastly, we must insist that our local government affirms that Upper Darby residents, regardless of immigration status, can live without fear of unjust harm. Renee Good's death here demands that we act not just in grief, but in purpose. Not just in protest, but in accountability, in unity, and in liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
My fellow colleague, David Banto, who's also a council member for the 6th District, would also like to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilman David Bento. I represent the 6th District. Also, I serve as chair on the Public Safety Committee, representing the legislative arm of the government of Upper Darby. So, tonight is a kind of night that brings back memory. I'm a refugee. I'm an immigrant. I came to this country as a refugee. And coming here, it was, finding safe haven. We thought America, when we came here, everything was just here, American welcome us. We resettled with our parents. And we live here, we build family. And we know it's a country of the free. That's how we wander over here. And we came out of crisis. I came from a country that went through a 14-year-old civil war, which of course, all that I'm seeing in the streets of America today remind me of everything else that I experienced from a third world country. And this was not my expectation. So as chairman on the Public Safety Committee, all I can say tonight to our local officials, because we are the only hope right now for our residents. Because people that are coming in our community, we don't know their identity. They come with face masks and all of these things. So all we can do is to protect one another. So what I said to the police superintendent, that you are the guys now that will be protecting our community. If anything goes wrong, citizens will call on you to come in and intervene. So tonight, I just want to say thank you for coming out. I think this is what communities are all about. If something happens in one community, we all come out to stand together as family, stand in solidarity with the bereaved family or whatever that is happening. Even though it's in the Midwest, I have family in the Midwest. Tonight, I'm worried with people that are living over there, whether they are walking in the street free or whatever going on with them. So, being in Pennsylvania, we are all in support of, we support the family tonight. And I want to take this time to extend my condolences to the Renee's family. This is unfortunate. I try to still wrap my head around it, just why it is that we should have this going on. If you are even, it is about immigration, law. So, I want to thank you for organizing this. And I just want to close up here. Guys, please be your neighbor keeper. Let us keep eyes out. It's not to fight. It's not to engage anyone with weapon, because you have no weapon to do anything. So remain calm. Let us make sure that if you suspect anything that you are not sure, or call the law enforcement within the community, and they will respond. Or call your elected official. We are here, to listen. Some weeks ago, it was on ICE activity in my district, and I was called upon, and I went, and intervened, and we got it going. So again, I want to thank you for gathering tonight. Feel free and get in touch with us. Thank you.
So thank you all for coming out for this night. It's a somber moment. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It's a very somber moment. And so I want us to get all closer again, and then also let's have another moment of silence for Renee. If whatever your tradition is, maybe say a prayer or a blessing, or wish her wishes for her family, for Minnesota, for people who've been hurt or maimed or murdered by ICE yesterday and before then, today, and hopefully not in the future. But let's give our blessings to Renee and to those who are part of our community and part of our family. Thank you. Thank you all. So a little story about myself is I'm a black man, and my parents are from the Caribbean. And just now, so we're in that moment of I'm a black man from the Caribbean, and and my parents are born. My mom was born in St. Kitts, and my dad was born in Tobago. And just now, in that moment of silence, I was thinking about my family and slavery, the kind of things that they endured. And I'm imagining the darkness of the nights that the people generations past behind me experienced. And so as we're in this dark moment, I'm reminded not only of that, but also of hope. And so as we're in this dark moment, as we think about and wish well for Renee, for her family, for Minneapolis, for the businesses and people of Upper Darby, and we also look forward to hope, to what's possible, to what we can do and will do for the future. And so right now, that's all that we have planned, but anyone else like to say anything to or for the community?
One thing.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to fight, get out of the way for somebody who will.
Okay. So Maureen says, if you're not willing to fight, get out of the way for somebody who will.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I don't really need a megaphone. I'm a very, very loud girl. But one of the things that I just wanted to add was today, originally, I was handing out chants. And we were going to chant. We were going to be loud. We were going to be angry. We're upset. We're frustrated. But we've been here before. And one of the things I remember back when, this all feels familiar, back in 2020, I remember just needing time to mourn. I remember just needing time to grieve. She died yesterday. This is a fight. This is a war. But there must be time for grieving. We cannot forget the people we lose behind this. And I feel like the symbols of these protest chants, even though I'm angry, even though I want to gear up for battle, we need to remember why we're doing it first before we jump the gun. So I do want you to keep these chants, because there is going to be a tomorrow that we have to get out here again, unfortunately. That's just the situation that we're in. We're going to have to say these chants. We are going to have to blow those whistles. We are going to have to know what to do when ICE comes to our streets. And damn it, we need to be ready. But right now, We need to be sad. It's okay to cry. Why? Because we find our humanity in it. We find the reason why we're fighting in our tears. We find the reason why we're doing all of this when we're thinking about the fact that a mom is not going home to her children. And that is sad. 6 years ago in 2020, all I could think about was that a black man is not going home to his kids. And we needed to be sad then. And I needed to mourn that. We needed to mourn that as a country. Those videos of her being brutally murdered, we need to feel that. Because we need to be able, when we go out to the streets, when we're talking about why we're doing this, we need to go back to those moments in the dark. When we're crying and we're praying and we're hoping that her children are going to be okay tonight. We need to be able to explain to someone what that means. Because we can't do this alone, and we need to get people to understand why we're doing it. So if you lead with anger, you will only get anger, and damn it, we're angry. But we need to understand our feelings of humanity. We need to be sad first. So again, I want you to keep these chants. I want you to keep these whistles. If you need any help, and I know I was handing them out very, very, very quickly, but if you need any help in understanding the instructions or what to do, please let us know. We want to help you. We only get better together. So the first step, tonight, we need to mourn. The second step, we need to educate ourselves. We need to get the resources. We need to get the whistles. We need to get the instructions. We need to know what organizations need help. But after that, then we can go to the streets when we're needed, and then we can be angry, then we can chant. But we'll have mourned first, we'll have been resourced first, and then we can go out and go to battle then. But we have to do this in steps. So that's the main thing I wanted to say tonight. If anybody needs any type of resources, if anybody needs any type of help, whether it's this or just, damn it, this is a hard time, and you want a place to mourn, we have a community center right over there. Very, very, very tattered flags hanging out the window. We'll change those eventually. But we are here if you need a place to mourn. We are here if you need a place to get resources. We are here if you want to figure out how you can get involved. We are here for you. And when the time comes for us to go to the streets, for us to do our protest, for us to chant, we're here for that too. So that's what I wanted to say today. If anyone has anything else to say, any resources that they want to add, or just know that you're not mourning alone, this space is for you. That's why it's a community vigil, because we're here to mourn. Thank you.
So I'm Tim Carney. It's my honor to represent Upper Darby and other parts of Delaware County in the state senate in Harrisburg. I actually blew off the governor. I was supposed to go to his announcement in Philadelphia. I just wanted to make sure you understood and you know that this means a lot to me to see everybody out here today. And I always hold Upper Darby near to my heart. It really is the reason why I'm in Harrisburg and trying to do the work that I'm doing. So this will help me when I get back to Harrisburg and we actually start talking about some of this crap. And hopefully we will talk about it. Normally we just kind of shove it under the rug and don't worry about it because that's kind of what we do. but we need to force the issue. The Senate, I also don't want to get political, but I can tell you that we're only 2 seats out of the majority in the state Senate. Republicans have held control since '93. That's a long time. And I think if we want stuff to actually happen in Harrisburg, we have to make changes. So again, Upper Darby is always near and dear to my heart. I call it the beating heart and soul of my district.
I did realize like we gave out all these flyers and I never actually went through it with everybody. So if you don't already have one, I am going to go through it real quick. So the ICE protocol for when you do see immigration, it's a 3-step process. Easy to remember because it spells ICE. Interrupt, capture, engage. So first thing you do, you hear a whistle. Your job is to interrupt whatever it is that you're doing and go outside. C, capture. Capture what's happening, take photos, get names, record. And then E, engage. To your comfort level. Yelling, alerting others, and getting as many people outside. ICE has been successfully driven back many times. Many, many times. Now, the whistles. Now, do not use other systems because each locality does do their own kind of thing when it comes to the whistles, so this is important to note. If you look at Chicago's, ours is a little bit different. It's a work in progress, to be fair. So, for us, we have 2 codes. Code flight, code fight. Pretty simple. Now, code flight. This is for a warning. This is a warning to the immigrants. This is the warning to the community. This is to let them know that immigration is in the area. Now, you'll see in other people's thing, they say blow it in, I don't know. They say it like in a subjective manner, but for us, it's random. So, who has a whistle? There you go. Perfect. So, these whistles are great. Random, okay? Now, when you hear 3 long blasts, that is when you go into your ICE protocol. You interrupt what you're doing, you capture what's going on, and you engage. Simple. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry. So Miss Owen, I would like to read a poem that Renee wrote.
I thought it would be really important to have Renee's voice here, and since she is a poet, this is by Renee Good. On Learning to Dissect Fetal Pigs by Renee Nicole Good. I want back my rocking chairs, solipsist sunsets, and coastal jungle sounds that are tercets from cicadas and pentameter from the hairy legs of cockroaches. I donated Bibles to thrift stores, mashed them in plastic trash bags with an acidic Himalayan salt lamp. The post-baptismal Bibles, the ones packed from street corners, from the meaty hands of zealots, the dumbed-down, easy-to-read, parasitic kind. Remember more the slick rubber smell of high-gloss biology textbook pictures. They burn the hairs inside my nostrils, and salt and ink rubbed off on my palms. Under the clippings of the moon at 2:45 a.m., I study and repeat. Ribosome, endoplasm, lactic acids, stamen, at the IHOP on the corner of Powers and Stetson Hills. I repeated and scribbled until it picked its way and stagnated somewhere I can't point to anymore. Maybe my gut, maybe there in between my pancreas and large intestine is the piddly brook of my soul. It's the ruler by which I reduce all things now, hard-edged, splintering from knowledge that used to sit, a cloth against fevered forehead. Can I let them both be, this fickle faith and this college science that heckles from the back of the classroom? Now I can't believe that the Bible and Quran and Bhagavad Gita are sliding long hairs behind my ear like Mom used to, and exhaling from the mouths make room for wonder. All my understanding dribbles down the chin onto the chest, and it's summarized as, life is merely to ovum and sperm, and where those two meet, and how often, and how well, and what dies there. Renee Good.
Thank you. Clap.
I'm gonna say a few words from, actually it was from my swearing in, but I think it's important for us all to hear. And they actually come from New York City, from the recent swearing in of Jermaine Williams, the New York City Public Advocate. And I will leave you with this. As we head into a new year, a new term, I want to ask you all to take an oath with me. Our neighbors in Brazil adopted a motto that I've tried to embody, that no one lets go of anyone's hand. Because if we're all connected, we can't lose anyone. So we hold on to the hands of our neighbor, and we reach out with our other hand to grasp someone we fear might slip through the cracks. We bring them along. I want everyone, if they're comfortable, to take the hand of the person next to you and repeat after me.
Here's what I'll do.
You ready? We can all be the voice of the people.
We can all be the voice of the people.
I don't know what's ahead,
I don't know what's ahead,
but I won't lose hold.
but I won't lose hope.
And I won't lose hope.
And I won't lose hope.
Anything can happen,
Anything can happen,
so anything can happen.
so anything can happen.
And as we march forward,
And as we march forward,
no one lets go of anyone's hand.
no one lets go of anyone's hand.
Thank you.